Hello friends, we are here today in Titus chapter 2. So this is a pretty simple chapter. What's going on is the most of the chapter is Paul is just telling Titus, you need to get the older people and teach the younger people how to be good people. There's lots of lists. He's saying, you need to find old men that are strong of character, understand the gospel, and teach the younger men to do the same. And the older women, it says different things that they're asking these people to do. They need to teach them not to be lovers of wine. They need to teach them to love their children. But ultimately, he's just saying we need to take the older people, good older people, find them so that they can teach the younger people how to be better. Now, it comes up, why does he have to say any of this? And it's important to note that the Cretans, they were Cretans in more ways than one. They were pretty rotten people. And so when you have Paul writing to Timothy, he doesn't have to tell them to be good people. He doesn't have to tell the Corinthians or the Romans, you need to be good people. But Cretans are a special breed. They're particularly void of a conscience, at least their culture is. And so he's saying we need to teach them. But it's interesting, at the end of the chapter, he's saying we're bringing the gospel, and the gospel is what teaches you. It says right here, I guess it says two things, and it says, the grace of God has appeared, bringing salvation for all people, training us to renounce ungodliness and worldly passions. And then later in this chapter, just in the next paragraph, it says, God our Savior Jesus Christ, who gave himself for us to redeem us from lawlessness. We're redeemed from lawlessness. It's not that Jesus came to teach us not to be lawless. And it was the grace that was the teacher. So what does this mean? I'm reading a book right now called Peace Child. In the book Peace Child, there's this tribe, and they're cannibals, and they'll kill people, and something that they really admire, like in the same way that we might tell superhero stories to our children, and we never get sick of it. There's always the superhero, and at the end he sacrifices himself to save many, because we have a Christian ideal in our culture. However, in that culture, they respect treachery. They were reading them the story of Jesus, and as soon as they were able to communicate, they told him the story about Judas betraying Jesus, and they were saying, Judas is a hero. They couldn't believe how much they loved Judas. But what was interesting is that later on they found out that in this culture, in this book, that there's a way that you can have a true good relationship with another tribe, and that is if you give them one of your babies, and they will give you one of their babies, and then you can have peace between the tribes because you trust someone enough to give someone as precious to them as a baby. And so they call the baby a peace child. And so the writer of the book, the missionary, Don Richardson, he was like, God gave a peace child. God gave a peace child, and a rule that they have in this culture is that the peace child, as soon as the peace child dies, there's no more peace between the two. And Don Richardson points out, this peace child he can't die. He died once, and he rose again. And then they looked back at the story of Judas, and they were like, wait a minute. You are telling me that Judas betrayed the peace child? And he said, yes. And they go, oh, that is something entirely different. They said there is no worse thing that could be done than what Judas did to Jesus. And he was like, yes. And so that's what he's saying here. if we've been given this peace child, if we've been given this grace, you know, that can teach us to trust God, to trust other people. You know, that's our training, so that we can love other people and not just live in this world where we are worried about ourselves. So anyways, that is Titus chapter 2. Have a great day. Bye.